the International Association of Coaching. Home of the coaching masteries.
Welcome, everyone. I see some people in the waiting room still. Let's wait for them to come in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope if it's morning to you, that you've had your morning coffee, and if it's afternoon, your afternoon coffee. And if it's at night for you, the wine. No. It's really a pleasure to be here, everyone. My name is Ingrid Rosenberg, and I'm the Vice President and President-elect of IAC. And today we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic, which is the sustainability and coaching. Those two words that we don't often hear together, but we're precisely talking about it this week because we want to awaken this curiosity in you of why those two words are together. Today, as panelists, we have an amazing team, and they're amazing because one of the things that they do with all their passion and heart is volunteer in the sustainability committee here at IAC, and I would like to introduce each of them to you. And I'm going to start with the leader or the coordinator of this committee, which is Brian French, who does a wonderful job, by the way. Uh, Brian French is a leadership development professional and IAC certified coach. He serves on the IAC Board of Governors, leads the IAC Sustainability Coaching Team, and serves as a volunteer of the program director for the Sustainability Coaching Coalition. He's going to be actually my co-host today, so in a minute I'll give him the words. I'm gonna introduce you someone else too, which is actually very close to my heart, which is Martha Pasternak. Martha is a certified IAC master coach, currently on the board of governors as well for IAC. She's also a member of the Institute of Coaching as a fellow. And Martha's master's degree is from the University of Colorado. Her postgraduate studies with Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Besides respectable academic achievements, coaching training, and experience, leadership, and tenure, her most precious achievement is having raised two beautiful babies into caring, loving, adventurous adults. She cares about the future of all children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and beyond. And I would think that's why her passion for this committee is where it comes from. So welcome, Martha, to you too. I'm gonna go next with Ritu Mathur. She's a colleague and also friend in IC. She's our vice president. She's a strategy consultant, executive coach, OD practitioner with more than 7 years of cross-sectoral experience. She specializes in strategic talent interventions that enable sustainable performance. And as I mentioned before, she's our current vice president and member of BUG. So welcome, Rita, to you too. Then I'm going to introduce you to Charlie Marshall, which has been a long-time volunteer at IAC and also very close to our heart. He is a public finance consultant, executive coach, and civil society activist. He is the Africa director of Team Coach International, a global coaching, leadership, and facilitation company. He serves IAC as its Africa chapter coordinator. Charlie, welcome. So nice to have you with us. And then we have one more panelist, which is Olifon Kedina. I'm not sure if she it's probably, I'm not sure if she's here already.
Yes, she it looks like she was just able to join, Ingrid. So Olympique?
Excellent. Can you open your mic so we can see you?
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Excellent. There you are. Thank you. We're making a general introduction to Olifanke. So I'm going to introduce you. Olifanke is an award-winning research scientist in environmental science and health and a certified biomedical investigator on impact of anthropogenic activities in the environment. She's an IC certified coach, a coach in the exclusive coaching tier in Immersed Coaching Company, and founder of Ruby Sprout Mentoring Network. So, Olifanke, also welcome to today's event. And the other person in the committee is myself. I think most of you know me. I'm also IAC certified coach. I work in HR arena in consulting in Costa Rica mainly. So I'm here to support IAC and all of its members and non-members as well. So welcome. Ryan, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ingrid, and welcome everyone. And I did want to also mention Anjali Nair, who we all know and love. She started this committee with me. She was the impetus behind the work that we're doing, and she's still on the committee, but she chose to step back and not be a panelist today. But thank you, Anjali, for everything that you have done and continue to do to support this effort. And I just want to spend a minute setting the stage of what do we mean when we say sustainability. I'm going to put in the chat box the official definition of sustainability. It is a noun. There's two definitions. First is the ability to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Definition number two is avoidance of the depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. And even though we use the moniker of sustainability, the community recognizes that it's too late to simply avoid the depletion. In order to find this ecological balance, it's now requiring many other things: restoration, adaptation, mitigation, and regeneration. And the shun at the end of these words make these action oriented. And regeneration is the key concept now in this work. How can we regenerate the Earth's resources so we can restore this ecological balance like we had before the Industrial Revolution, before the pollution caused by the burning of the fossil fuels, before the depletion of resources? So when we speak of the ecological balance, it's not just talking about the environment, it's the environment and all living things within the environment, including us humans. So I just wanted to set that stage, and I'll invite Ingrid on now. She'll invite you to do some consideration about how you view sustainability. Ingrid?
Thank you, Brian. Let's see. So we're going to be asking a question to the audience today, and I'm going to project also the question here in my screen so we can do a word cloud. I don't know if you've used a word cloud before, but you can go here where it says menti.com. And when you do that, you can do it on your phone. You can put this code and you can answer this question. You can also use the Zoom chat and answer the question there. So I'm going to be reading both. The idea is to have both um, options for you. So what do you think sustainability coaching is? I think Brian just gave away a little bit of this question, but to you, what is sustainability coaching? So I'm going to give you a few minutes. You can write what is sustainability coaching is.
As we're waiting for those to come in, so I provided the definition of sustainability, and when we ask the specific question of sustainability coaching, it's taking that understanding of what sustainability is, and then how can we as coaches actually support the concept of sustainability. So love to see your thoughts coming in. If you're not able to go to the Menti site, if you'd like to share your thoughts in the chat box, that'd be fine as well.
I also put a link in the chat in case you prefer to use that.
Great.
Ongoing, we have a first question here. Great, ongoing. We have Marcela's response here, which I'm gonna read and translate. It says, to keep sustaining through time, responding to needs, and the changes that happen. So I understand, Marcela, what you're saying is that the idea is to respond to the needs of the climate and the environment in general where we live, respond to the changes that are happen in the world. Also, Jody, thank you. It says here, I think it has to do with several factors: systems, environment, personal, and could lead into organizational and financial factors as well. Yes, definitely. Definitely. I do believe it's all tied. There is no there's no financial gain of any company if you don't have a good environment. If people around you are not well, if the environment is not well, companies cannot be successful. So it has to do with that. It has to do with your own finances. Wellness actions for the planet, very well. I see it also as taking care of those things that I love and that I care, like my family. What are we leaving uh, behind for the future generations? Let's see. I'm going to read a little bit of what's here in the cloud. Very well. So it's self-empowering, recursive, human transformation, ongoing, commitment, timely, constant evolution, action, awareness, over time, possibility, opportunity, self-sustaining, definitely, human transformation, potential, self-empowering, and long-lasting. Really nice words. Now, the next question for you, and I'm going to read one more. Jacqueline says, estimula conciencia sobre el impacto de nuestras decisiones. So
It
she's saying that
stimulates
it stimulates
consciousness on the impact of our
the
decisions.
awareness and consciousness of the impact of our decisions, both individual and organizational, uh, and the impact in the environment and the generations to come. Okay. So, what would you like to learn about sustainability coaching? If you could take away one thing that you want to learn today, what would that be? So I want to give you a couple of minutes to think about it. So corporate support, very well. And while you think and answer these questions, I want to share with you that the first time I heard these two words together was precisely at a Quo Vadis coaching event in 2022 when Professor Peter Hawkins shared with us how he viewed this topic. It's in YouTube. You can find us as IAC Global in YouTube. You can find it as Quo Vadis 2022. I welcome you to revisit that day's event that we had with his speech. You'll be inspired. So what we have here says, what would you like to learn about sustainability coaching, do's and don'ts, sponsorship, case study, awareness, where can I help, corporate support, team coaching, how to motivate clients. And here in the chat, we have Jacqueline who says she would like to take away a perspective, a unified criteria and standards of how that we can share with organizations, that we can share as an organization. Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much for your participation. Definitely having a shared understanding of what coaching, sustainability coaching is, and having a clear uh, perspective of what I want to learn today is going to help with today's outcome.
Yeah.
So one more response here says, I wanna know the philosophy of this type of coaching to live and expand. Thank you very much, Narkis, as well. So, Brian, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ingrid, and thank you everyone for sharing those thoughts and the desires for what to learn in this session. So we will do our best to touch as many of those topics as we can through our discussion. But before we begin the panel discussion, I would love to just ask each of the panelists the question that is the theme for today. How was your curiosity of sustainability coaching awakened? And we're going to start with Martha. Martha, would you like to unmute and share with us your story of how your curiosity of sustainability coaching was awakened?
Oh, of course. Wow.
It's a big
What a
question.
Yeah. So upon reflection, I realized that my curiosity in general was awakened with my first step as a toddler.
Mhm.
And I continued to step through toddlerhood and childhood, adolescence and adulthood. I stepped through education and professional development. And I stepped through the birth of my children and my grandchildren. I've been walking.
Yeah.
Some of my steps were missteps, and sometimes I tripped, sometimes I fell. Sometimes I was afraid to take the next step, and sometimes I simply forgot. But so far, I've been able to get back up and start again each time. It's been that journey of 1,000 miles that I think Lao Tzu talked to us about. My curiosity about sustainability coaching was awakened when I became aware of the UN's 17 Sustainability Development Goals and how they embrace my values and what I care most deeply about. Ingrid nailed it. Love, respect, beauty, pure water, clean air, healthy soil to grow nutritious food, wildlands, families, and humility, to name just a few. So now, as I look around me and at my growing family and my community, and now that my curiosity is awakened, I simply cannot go back to sleep, professionally or personally.
Mhm. Beautiful story. Thank you, Martha. Next, we'll turn to Ritu. Ritu, would you like to share how your curiosity of sustainability coaching was awakened?
Thank you, Brian. And it's always a pleasure to listen to Martha because the way she uh, chooses words, it really evokes imagery which is so powerful, and you can literally live it. So my journey into sustainability actually didn't begin in a classroom or even a corporate setup. It actually began in my own backyard. I always was deeply connected to nature. And for years, I found myself drawn into small but meaningful acts like planting trees in my community or cleaning up littered spaces or trying to fix the garbage problem in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
And none of it was actually part of a project or a job. It was something I just felt I had to do. And because I couldn't just sit back and watch the environment around me deteriorate and stay silent. And those experiences actually shaped me. They taught me that sustainability cannot just be a policy, it has to be a mindset and maybe a habit, a way of living and leading. And as my professional life evolved into coaching, that realization actually followed me. And I began to notice that the leaders I worked with weren't just navigating business complexity, but they were also navigating a world facing with climate anxiety, burnout, inequality, and of course, rapid change. And what really something which I realized was that sustainability is not only about the planet, it starts with people. If leaders or executives are exhausted, disconnected from purpose, or maybe operating from a survival mode, how can they meaningfully contribute to building sustainable organizations or even sustainable planet? And that's where sustainability in coaching took root for me. And I would again like to acknowledge Anjali, who evoked that curiosity in me and also got me involved in the sustainability committee. And it's been a pleasure to be part of this committee with Brian, with Martha, with Olin Funke, with Charlie, and of course Anjali. And the UN Sustainability Development Goals have actually given words to what I always intuitively feel. And that's how I actually feel about sustainability. And it is about aligning high performance with well-being. And I think that's what even Ingrid mentioned. And it's about helping individuals build futures where success doesn't come at a cost of health, community, or our planet. And so that's it from me, Brian. And thank you very much for being part of this committee and steering all of us in doing something which is very, very close to my heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ritu. Wonderful story. Olafunke, let's turn to you now. Would love to hear being an environmental scientist, we've talked about some of your background, but I'm curious to hear what awakened that connection between your environmental science work and coaching.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you everyone for having me. My curiosity about sustainable coaching was awakened when I began to notice how easily transformation can fade if growth is not rooted in clarity, consistency, and authentic alignment. Early in my coaching journey, I realized that helping people achieve results wasn't enough. What truly mattered was helping them sustain those results long after the sessions I had with them ended. And coming from an environmental science background, I've always been drawn to systems that regenerate rather than deplete. And this perspective naturally shaped my approach to coaching, seeing people as ecosystems that thrive when nurtured holistically. I became fascinated by how self-awareness, purpose, and structure work together to sustain growth. The more I coached visionaries, the more I coached thought leaders, the clearer it became that sustainable coaching isn't just about motivation, it's about cultivating habits, mindset shift, and internal accountability that can stand the test of time. And this realization ignited my deep curiosity to learn, to design, and practice coaching that not only transform lives but also sustain them. Yeah, this is what's prompted my curiosity.
Fabulous. Thank you, Olafunke. And now we're going to turn to Charlie. Charlie, tell us about your journey and what awakened your curiosity. And Charlie does a lot of work with the UN. He's been involved in this effort for so long, and he's such a wonderful resource for the committee. So, Charlie, tell us your story of what was the initial awakening of your curiosity of sustainability coaching.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to colleagues who are here, especially for your leadership and the collaboration that we have in the committee. I think I've been used to sustainability issues before being interested by sustainability coaching. And I was fortunate enough to be part of some of the preparatory meetings of the 2015 SDGs. And it's clear that when you go through that process, you see all the complexities, of having a planet that satisfies everybody. Those who like to make money, those who are just asking to live, peacefully, and those who would like to enjoy well-being in their rural settings and communities and things like that. So in my own view, I didn't then see the link that might exist between this topic, these sustainability issues, and coaching as a process for change, as Olufunke just said. But when I came to IAC a few years back, and then one day there was this meeting with Comensa, and trying to present the sustainability team, and I was I committed to present the IAC sustainability group, and then I understood the clear link that we need to make between sustainability and coaching, because it's not all natural, to see it on the spot. Like Martha just said, that an author helped us to say this. And that's when I clearly started to be curious about, how coaching can be processed to, to deeply sustain our needs for sustainability. That's when I started. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, thank you so much, Charlie. And Ingrid shared about her story of the session that we had in 2022 with Professor Peter Hawkins. So thank you for sharing your perspective, Ingrid. For me, I was always awake since I've been a lifelong naturalist and environmentalist, even as a kid when I had no idea what those words meant. But I was not knowledgeable and didn't have the skills needed to turn my concerns into action. So throughout most of my professional career, I've actually been intentionally trying to not mix my personal views with my leadership development and coaching practice, tried to keep them completely separate. So my awakening was in the form of understanding that it's okay to do so, to mix my environmental concerns with my professional leadership facilitation and coaching practice. It's okay to do so in a way that fits within the coaching ethics that we all agree upon when we get our IAC coaching certification, and the broader ethics of my views and my values in the world. So I awakened to feel the support of others in the coaching community who were also doing this. So now my mission is to help educate and support others who have the same concerns and help them to find ways to turn those concerns into action through their professional practice. And I will say it's very fitting that this session is taking place during COP30 in Belém, Brazil. And if you're not familiar with the COP, it's the Conference of the Parties that the United Nations puts on each year. It's in its 30th year, and this COP focuses on climate crisis. And it's a key focus of sustainability work, since the climate touches each area of sustainability. And you'll hear from Charlie in a bit about the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, which is the frame of what we focus our work on. Before we do that, though, we do have just some general information that we'd like to share with you. I'm going to share our connection with the SCC, the Sustainability Coaching Coalition. Then Charlie will share about the UN SDGs, and then Ritu will share about our IAC Sustainability Coaching Toolkit that this team put together a couple of years ago to provide you with a guide that you can turn to learn how to infuse your love of the planet and of people into your coaching practice. So to get us started, I'm going to share my screen quickly and share about our connection with the SCC, the Sustainability Coaching Coalition. And again, highlighting Anjali's influence in this work. Anjali invited me to be part of the Sustainability Coaching Coalition in 2022. It was then known as the JGSG, the Joint Global Statement Group on Climate Change. And it was formed in 2020 when a group of the leading coaching certification associations around the world came together to decide that we need to collaborate in this work so we can, across our industry, have an impact, a positive impact on addressing the climate crisis specifically. And the group has been operating for 5 years. We meet on a quarterly basis. We provide roundtable sessions that are educational sessions that all of the member organizations can participate in. In fact, we have one coming up that I'll highlight here in a moment. And let me go ahead and put the website in the chat box if you would like to check out the Sustainability Coaching Coalition. But I'll highlight that this is a coalition of 13 of the leading coaching, mentoring, coaching psychology, and supervision associations around the world. And you see that we're prominently highlighted here as well as the IAC. These are placed in alphabetical order by acronym. And it includes the larger associations as well, like EMCC, like ICF. And we collaborate very well together. We partner together to do this work under this new umbrella of the Sustainability Coaching Coalition. So the latter part of last year, the first part of this year, we went through strategy discussions to decide on coming up with a new name that would be more recognizable, easier to understand and to say, that encapsulated the work that we do. And it also invited us to think past climate to all of the interconnectedness of the 17 SDGs. And I'm going to invite Charlie on now to share more information about those 17 Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. Charlie?
Yeah, thank you, Brian. I will take the time to share my screen, if you allow me. Are you all there?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. I will go fast, starting with something called the Earth Overshoot Day that some of you might know and some might not know. And the Earth Overshoot Day, the return date, 24 July 2025 for this year. And if I turn my slide, you will see that 2024, and then we were 1st August 2024 for the Earth Overshoot Day. And then, Brian, to your point, we need to unite as a climate, to work for the climate. And in 2023, we had the Earth Overshoot Day, and that was on the 2nd of August. And you see that when you go, with calendar 2025, we are in July. 2024, we are first. 2023, we are second. And what is it actually? It's the date when resource consumption on the earth exceeds our capacity to generate resources. And so if you look at this, you will see clearly that we are actually, reducing all the capacity of the earth to generate those type of resources. And then we are over consuming as time goes, as times move on. And if you say this, you might find this afterward when we share the slide. So I won't spend too much time here. And then this overconsumption is actually calling out to ask ourselves if we are going to the right direction. And this question was asked, by the Club of Rome in the 70s. I was not even born then. And then you see the pollution that happened that time. And then people have to say, okay, maybe we are actually shooting our food And then Brundtland Commission decided to look at this and to see how best we could design something for our common future. And this sort of, kind of insight started to be generated by so many researchers for our sustainable development. And this gave us, as you know, we started with the Millennium Development Goals as we started talking of the sustainable development in 1992, it gave the Millennium Development Goals that we all know. And then after the Millennium Development Goals, it gave the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that we know. That is here and that you already know. All of you know this, and it's divided. You can take it from goals that has to do with well-being, with the society, with human beings, and the goals that have to do with the biosphere, and also the goals that have to do with the economy, as you know. And anyone can have his own in these goals. And you will also see that at the end of the 17th goal, it's actually the partnership to implement the goal. And this is the divide that you may have when you look at the sphere, the environment where we live, the society as we are, and then the economy as we thrive. And from there, we see clearly that we can only implement or maybe achieve the goals if everyone at each stage, at each level, do its own. If we don't, it will be very, very difficult to meet the goals. And what do we need to meet those goals? We need system knowledge. And I think our gathering today, it's actually one of the strategies that IAC provides, to help people understand what is actually our current state. Where are we now, as we just said with the Earth Overshoot Day, where we see clearly that we are overshooting. And then we also need to know what is our desired future, and then what should be and what shouldn't be. And once we have that, we need now, and I think personally that's where our coaching, sustainability coaching, jumps in. How to go from now to where we want to be, and how we actually design our methods, processes, and steps for change. And that's where I believe that to change we have to, and that's the role of coaching actually in this sustainability coaching phrase. It's that we need to think differently if we want to co-design the alternative future that we want. And you see, this is Sandra Dixon leading the Club of Rome, the then Club of Rome that decided for the limits to growth. That was a call that we need to limit our growth. But to do that, we need to change the way we think. And then changing the way we think also requires us to partner, because we can't do this alone. That's clear. And I think the Sustainability Coaching Coalition is one of the partnership with this. But we need to do more to bring more people to this coalition, to bring more, more organizations, institutions, more brains to this coalition to think successfully. But also this thinking needs to bring us to change some of the indicators by which we measure success. And for now, we are stuck with the GDP, that only focuses on the economic outputs, And, with the GDP, if you do if you crush down a building and then you rebuild the building, you can have economic outputs from everything that you do. But we have to rethink what are the indicators that are interesting for us. What is economic growth when well-being, environmental health, social quality of life, and everything is just going down? And I think that's where the rethinking model of progress is absolutely needed if we would like to build an earth for all. Thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Charlie. And part of the education that Charlie spoke to, the committee has worked towards providing that to you. And that is through the creation of the IAC Sustainability Coaching Toolkit. So I'd love to invite Ritu on now to share about the toolkit with you. And I'll be sharing the view on the screen. And Ritu will also share how you can get your own copy of the toolkit that has been translated into a number of different languages. Ritu?
Thank you, Brian. One of the things that we've been talking about is the fact that IAC is committed to global sustainability, and Brian and Anjali and others in the committee has created this toolkit, which is basically designed to specifically equip IAC members to coach clients in the areas of ESG, environmental, social, and governance. So what is the focus of this toolkit that Brian has mentioned? So sustainability as defined here involves goals, actions, and practices that support long-term viability of the earth and allow all living beings to thrive. So this concept actually encompasses ecological needs, supportive economic measures, and social initiatives that promote equity and inclusion. So the toolkit actually provides crucial resources, informational guides, and links to models and tools that I think all of you as coaches would personally find very, very useful, and when you're also working with your clients. And the guiding framework for this toolkit has been the SDGs, the 17 goals, which very eloquently Charlie has just talked about. And these 17 goals were adopted in 2015 to actually address global needs. And they are organized around 5 Ps: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. And the UN 2030 agenda outlines specific targets for these goals. And you will find details about these aspects in our toolkit. And IAC actually formalized its commitment with the formation of the sustainability team in 2023, following many years of addressing climate change crisis. And our journey actually, as Brian already mentioned, began in 2020 when IAC joined the JGSG which is basically Joint Global Statement Group on Climate Change, which is now called SCC. That is Sustainability Coaching Coalition. And SCC, this unique collaboration brings together leading professional bodies in coaching, mentoring, and supervision, united by the commitment to collective action, recognizing that a single association cannot achieve sufficient impact alone. And I think that is the premise of this particular toolkit, which has been developed for IAC members. And as coaches, we are encouraged to utilize the coaching masteries to support these 17 SDGs by inviting clients to consider the broader systems influencing their work and life. And the toolkit is actually curated with subpoints under each mastery to help you apply them specifically to sustainability related conversations with your clients. For example, under perceiving, affirming, and expanding the client's potential, we consider opportunities to help clients recognize their current sustainability efforts and expand their mindset. A critical point to emphasize about this document is the question of agenda. And the mastery's considerations are intended to help coaches remain client agenda focused and ensuring we are not imposing our own personal agenda on the coachees. And more importantly, even IAC's core values, such as lifelong learning, compassion, integrity, inclusion, and responsibility, also guide our work in this space. And the toolkit suggests exercise where coaches examine how these values relate to their own views on sustainability, which can be then modeled for our coachee clients. Furthermore, the IAC ethical principles, which is competence, integrity, professional responsibility, and respect for people's rights and dignity, serve as a map to ensure we maintain higher standards and avoid crossing the line into activism. And for coaches working with leaders and organizations, the concept of corporate sustainability is the key, typically framed by CSR and ESG. And, and I'm sure all of us are aware of the fact that CSR is often considered the company's or an organization's internal conscience. And ESG is more external, measurable demonstration of that commitment. And to assist your coaching, the Sustainability Toolkit actually offers sustainability coaching questions as well, such as how do you see your actions supporting the broader needs of the systems that you reach? And finally, the toolkit also provides extensive resources. These include links to UN learning platforms, the SCC, and the Coaching Alliance. It also highlights specific models like the eco-phase cycle and meals wheels, which can be utilized with clients to explore their role in addressing climate concerns. So as Brian already mentioned, that this toolkit is available in different languages, which includes Spanish and Chinese. And in fact, there's a recording of one of our learning circles, learning webinar that we did last year, where we actually went through this toolkit for our members. And this toolkit is actually designed to be an ongoing reference and a starting point for your journey towards sustainability, and emphasizing the value of lifelong learning to stay not only current on research, but also the growing needs represented by the 17 SDGs. And we encourage you to explore it deeply. And as of now, this toolkit is available for IAC members. And if you're not aware of it, and you're most welcome to have a look at it. And thank you, Brian, for sharing it with our participants today as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Ritu. And you can log into your members portal, your IAC members portal, and scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see the toolkit available in each of the languages, and also links to the webinar that Ritu mentioned, where we go through the document and share with you how you can utilize it within your coaching practice. So to answer Andrew's question that placed in the chat box, simply log into your members portal through the main IAC webpage, and you can find the Sustainability Coaching Toolkit there. And I will note that we will be updating the toolkit in 2026. It's one of our goals in 2026. There's already, this work changes quickly, and there's more information available now than there was a year and a half, 2 years ago when we first put it together. So we will be going back in, and we invite you, if you are interested in the subject, we invite you to join in on our team and be a part of that work that we will endeavor to do next year. So I'll make that invitation now, and I'll make it again at the end. But now we'd like to just invite Ingrid on to lead us in a panel discussion, inviting thoughts and perspectives from all of the panelists. And if you have questions that arise during the panel discussion, please put them in the chat box. We will attempt to address them as we go along. So Ingrid, back over to you.
Great, thank you. I actually want to show our members, in case they haven't seen it, how it looks in the web page. So I want to share this quickly. So when you go into your dashboard, you go all the way down, and here you'll see the Sustainability Coaching Kit in the 3 formal language, and actually it's also in French. So I hope you go in and download it. Excellent. So now we're gonna have the discussion with our panelists today in two very important questions. And the first question is, how has focusing on sustainability coaching influenced your own coaching practice? And I think this is a very important question for members to start understanding how can I take this into my coaching practice. So I would like to invite Martha maybe to start. You're muted.
How about now? Unmuted?
There you go. I
Okay.
hear you.
I understand as I learn and gather information about the past, the present, and the future, that as coaches, our challenge is to discover and explore and illuminate our personal and professional understanding of sustainability. As Brian went through the dictionary, looking for what that meant. Do we sustain the past? Do we keep everything the way it is right now? Or do we open to what's possible? And it's complex. It's used to be a trend a while back. It was a trend, but now it's a compelling global concern. So as a coach, I'm guided by the IAC Masteries. Mastery number 9 speaks to sustainability of resources and systems that will support our clients' intentions. So right now I coach one-on-one. I'm not in corporate sectors. My coaching supports people to get clear so they can move forward in a direction they so choose, one step at a time. And we start at home. We start where we are. I ask what they care about. What are they passionate about? And we move forward from there. As you know, with that, not to be redundant, but my awareness of sustainability coaches has empowered my coaching in that I believe all coaching is about sustainability and empowering people to be aware and accept themselves where they are in the present moment. So again, so they can move forward. I've also I've been reaching out to my communities and those who have declared their focus on the sustainability goals and offer my support. So rather than my coaching conversation one-on-one, I've moved into the community. There's all kinds of really wonderful projects in schools, especially with like middle school kids studying the UN goals and creating projects that the kids can do to develop their understanding. And I've also gathered a group of coaches to practice with, to practice questions like a beta group. And so we can each learn how this can work. I don't know what I'm going to have to pay them. I'm not going to pay them anything, but so it's just, you know, to explore together. So I remain humble and very mindful that I can't do this alone.
Beautiful. Thank you, Martha.
You're welcome, Ingrid.
I would like to ask one of our panelists, Alifonke, if you would like to go next and share with us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, honestly, sustainability coaching has changed the way I think about transformation. For me, it's no longer about just helping people reach their goals. It's about helping them create impact that lasts. I've learned to see my coaching clients, even myself, as part of a bigger ecosystem where every choice has ripple effects, where every decision has consequences. So instead of quick fixes, I now focus on cultivating habits, mindsets, and systems that are regenerative, personally, professionally, and even environmentally. And this has made my coaching more grounded, more more intentional, and definitely more human, because sustainability revolves around human preserving the present so that the future will not be jeopardized. So the decision that I make or the action plans that I curate with my clients during coaching session is pioneered toward this direction. And this made my sessions not just about personal success, which is paramount. However, it's not only about personal success, but about creating a rhythm of renewal that mirrors how nature itself is being sustained. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lifonke. And I hear those words very clearly. We cannot be successful if we're not taking care of the environment where we live. Thank you. Charlie, would you like to go next?
Yeah, thank you, Ingrid. I would say that when I consider the objective of sustainability coaching or sustainability coaches, and when I add it to the situation that we face now, I think most of the analysis on the SDGs are not actually very positive. And the overshoot day that I presented for 2025 is actually not saying the same. It's not positive too, meaning that the trend is not being reversed. And I think Brian, when he started introducing, he was talking of, exploiting, depleting, sustainable, and then regenerative, and we are not on that stage. And I think given the complexity of the situation, and Martha used the word complexity, I think it has led me, looking at sustainability coaching has led me to think of how can we actually deeply change the mindset of people that has been trained for decades at school, in families, in societies, and in companies, to thrive economically, to build more, more resources, more money, to say it, and then to bring them back to another mindset that is more, society-wise, that is more human. And that absolutely supposes, to cut something when it comes to your your money, just to say it, to ground it there, talk of money. And then it has led me to go to look at brain science, to neuroscience, that's what sustainability coaching has brought to me these past years, to learn more about how to bring this sort of maximum shift, because it's a wonderful shift. And I see clearly, I'm a tech myself, and I was at OGP 2-3 weeks back, Open Government Summit in Spain. And I was fortunate to be part of a session around data centers. And data centers that we love. If we didn't have data centers, maybe we wouldn't be here, doing this Zoom call. But yet, it's actually a kind of environmental problem when we see the impact of data centers. I'm not talking of climate. I'm not talking of typhoons. I'm not talking of cyclones. I'm talking of data centers that we build to make our life, to meet here, to connect with people all over the world. And then you ask yourself, how are we going to do this? And so I keep thinking, because I don't know if we don't connect with all the coaches, all those who are change agents, to think together on how we can reverse this. Because to reverse the trend, the ecological trend, we need to reverse the mindset. We need to reverse the objective of humans, and to see how best we bring that to shape a new type of ecology that doesn't jeopardize the future generations for our current well-being. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. So let's hear let's hear Ritu and Brian with the same question. We're answering the question on how has focusing on sustainability coaching influenced your own coaching practice. So Ritu, we would love to hear you, and right next to that, Brian.
Yeah. Thank you, Ingrid. It's been wonderful to hear from Martha, Olafunke, and Charlie, their perspective on this. I think for me, what has happened is that there's been definitely a shift in my lens when it comes to bringing in sustainability in my coaching practice. And while being mindful of the fact that, what we're dealing with is something which is very, very tangible, very, very real, and how can we as coaches help our clients or coaches to move beyond the immediate short-term goals. And I'm calling them short-term because profitability, or for that matter, achieving goals for the organizations in a larger scheme of affairs seem to be short-term. And what I'm trying to be mindful about is the fact that how can I get my clients to think about long-term ripple effects of their decisions and their actions, not just over months, but years and decades. And we need to definitely think about the legacy that we are leaving behind. And personally, I would say that I have shifted from looking at my coaches' problems or issues in isolation, but see them as part of larger connected systems. Maybe their family, their community, workplace, and of course, the environment. And I think one thing which I've started to do a lot more is explore how their personal values and actions are getting intertwined with global challenges. And I'm hoping that my approach is some way bringing an impact on them and making my coaching process more holistic and purpose driven. And the idea being that, how can we draw a link between my coaches' inner landscape, which is their values, mindsets, and habits, and of linking it to the outer actions. I think the smaller things is what, I feel I could look at focusing on, like, say, for instance, consumption or activism, like Charlie was mentioning about data center. How, the decisions and actions organizations are taking, how is it going to be impacting, our environment? And my effort is that, and it's not only to bring in shift in or transformation in the mind of my coaches, but also myself, that how can we make tangible, meaningful contribution to the world? And the idea being that focus should be on what truly matters. Is it profitability or is it, sustainability? And when coaches are able to probably connect their professional path or a lifestyle change to probably one of the needs of the environment, I think the motivation is intrinsically higher. And I feel if I'm able to bring in even a needle shift in that direction, I feel it would have maybe a big impact. So that's it from my side, Ingrid. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, well, folks, you're getting a sense of what our monthly IAC sustainability team meetings are like. And again, I'll make the invitation if you're engaged in this conversation and would like to help us in the work that we're doing for the association, please let me know. And I would love to have you join us because these are the deep conversations that we have on a monthly basis. I've noticed a few questions specifically from Andrew in the chat box, and I'll try to answer that in my little speaking points here. So Andrew's asking, there's a conflict that we naturally have between whose agenda it is, the coachees or our agenda if we're trying to push sustainability as a consideration. Do we as IAC coaches firstly become the change we want to see? Definitely so. We coach through questioning. The final analysis is about action and deeds. So I'm going to share with you in the chat box what I call the 3 areas of sustainability coaching. As I first got into the awakening, where I started to marry my environmentalist mind with my coaching practice, I struggled with these questions as well. My coaching ethics tells me it's not my agenda, it's the client's agenda. I'm not to be directive, I'm to be inviting. And I did a lot of thinking about, okay, how can I formulate this in a way where I can understand my role in a given situation? And I've coached in each of these 3 areas that I posted. The first one is easy, coaching those who specifically work in the sustainability space. So it's pretty standard coaching, helping them to be more successful in the way that they do their work in the organization that they work within. Number 2 is coaching those who want to integrate sustainable practices within their work and life. This is pretty easy because you have a willing audience. They're extremely willing, they're motivated to learn more, so we can serve as a guide and an accountability partner for them. Number 3, coaching those in a standard coaching engagements while gently inviting sustainability to be considered. This is the tough one. Most of the coaching I do is within the leadership space in corporate environments where my coachee has nothing on their mind about sustainability. To Ritu's point, to the other panelist's point, they're thinking profit, they're thinking efficiencies within the work that they do. Sustainability, especially long-term views of sustainability, is not in their mind when they enter into this coaching engagement. So what can I do as a coach I call it gently invite them, not imposing my views, but gently invite them to consider these deeper things. And I do it through a number of ways. During the get to know you and trust building phases of the engagement, I share about my personal connection with nature and my focus on sustainability. It's a way to build trust, to get to know each other. And I'm not imposing my views. I'm just sharing what's meaningful to me as I'm inviting them to share what's meaningful to them as well. I also use a lot of nature-based metaphors, similes, and analogies. And if I ask somebody to consider their leadership like a tree, for instance, and that invokes pictures of nature in their mind, and that helps to open up those deeper connections with the longer term sustainability needs. I also use a lot of self-reflection activities that invite considerations of broader systems, and I have a lot of that in my coaching worksheets toolkit that I bring into the engagement. And I invite them to consider how their actions will be affecting the future generations. If the coachee has children, that automatically invokes the, oh, what kind of earth am I leaving for my kids and their kids and generation after generation? And you may have heard of the seven generations concept. It's an indigenous concept of looking at seven generations back, looking at seven generations forward, honoring the past generations, building the future for the next generations. We do not own the earth. It is collectively utilized by all of these generations. So how can we invite that? And one of the most powerful tools that I use is to actually coach in nature, coach outside. And even if it's virtual, I will be outside with nature in my background. And just that fact of having nature in the background can help to invite the client to expand their thoughts into the connection with nature, uh, even if the coaching engagement has nothing to do with sustainability. So, thank you for listening, and let me know if you have further questions.
Thank you, Brian. Very lovely. I take that as a takeaway. Coaching in nature spaces. I wanna try that sometime. Um, Also, I would like to add to what my colleagues have said. I think there is a great opportunity to immerse ourselves and specialize in this topic and actually create what this looks like in our profession. I do believe that nobody has a specific answer on what's the correct route to take because it's different for every coach, for every environment, for every country. So what we can do though is to precisely create how we can help others in this topic. And I think it was Andrew who said it, it all starts with ourselves. How am I taking sustainability into my life in the different decisions I make? So I think definitely there's a space here to explore more and to begin, if this is a topic that you are passionate about, begin to show yourself to the world as someone who can help in this topic. And I think then that the number one type of coaching that Brian was telling, the people that want to know more about this, or I think it was the second one, will reach out. So I think there's a great opportunity to keep exploring and sharing. And maybe next year someone can come and tell us how they're doing. Very well. So we have a few minutes to close. I would like maybe we have time for one panelist to share with us one more question, and is how can sustainability coaching help address the needs of people and planet in a summary? So I don't know if okay, Martha, you wanna go ahead? So we have a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'll go quickly because there's a couple things I wanted to say. Again, at the risk of being redundant, the sustainability development goals are not only about climate change. They're about they address the lived experience of being human. And being human is so broad. And so they address the body, the mind, the spirit, the emotions, and our ecology. And I wanted to say a quote or share a quote that's with me, you probably all know it, by Margaret Mead, and encourage everyone never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Amen.
Lovely,
Beautiful.
lovely. And I think it's a wonderful close to hear you, Martha, speak about it's not only climate, it's the 19th goals kind of summarize what it's all about. It's about being humans. And I remember there was this phrase of late, let me see if I have his name here, that he said, let's become better humans. I will get to the name. I'm sorry, it left my mind. But when I heard that phrase, I thought, that's probably our objectives here. How can we become better humans? And definitely, uh, being close to those objectives can help us inspire, to say a better word, inspires to become the better version of ourselves. Excellent. Brian, would you like to close today's session?
Thank you.
Remembering the photo before we go.
Oh, yes, we have to remember the photo. So thank you so much, Ingrid. Thank you to our sustainability coaching team members, Martha, Lafonke, Charlie, Ritu, and as mentioned earlier, Anjali, who is on the session today as well, and is continuing supporting member of our team. We are here for you. We want to hear from you as to how we can help. So we will be taking the screen captures that you shared with us earlier about what you would like to learn. We'll be building that into our plans for next year for 2026. We do invite you to download the Sustainability Coaching Toolkit to start utilizing it in your practice. We invite you to attend the events that we will be offering in 2026. We do invite you also to get involved with our sustainability team. If you have a passion for this topic, we would love to have you join our group and engage in the conversations, much like what you heard today through this session. We support each other, we help each other, we expand each other's thoughts and ideas on how we can more and more engage in sustainability coaching within our personal practice. And we would love to have you help us in that journey. I use a very simple model when I consider my engagement, not only personally, but within my coaching practice as well. I'm going to put it into the chat box, and I'll leave you with this for consideration. We invite you to be aware of the needs, invite you to be informed on the impacts, and invite you to be engaged in the solutions. We can apply this to all areas of our life, including and especially the areas of sustainability and working to be better humans. Thank you all for being here. It's been a wonderful session. Thank you, Ingrid, for co-hosting this session. And again, thank you to all the panelists. Thank you for all of the questions submitted, all the comments and perspectives by our participants today. And I'll turn it over to, I think, Gigi now to get our group photo.
Okay, let's smile. We're going to take the photo. First screen. Okay, next. Please don't write in the chat so we can take a good photo. Okay. Okay, we're done. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Merci. Bye-bye.
The International Association of Coaching. Home of the Coaching Masteries.